America, and welcome to Invent America, because America invents.
This episode of Invent America TV is brought to you by America's Inventor Lady and Home Talk USA. Home Talk is a proud member of the King's Broadcasting Network and has been bringing to you the best of America's home-based product innovation since 1998. This segment of Invent America TV is brought to you by the law offices of R.P. Baraska. RPB law offices have been bringing corporate-level legal expertise to the independent inventor community for more than 20 years. For all your inventing legal needs, trust rpblawoffices.com.
Welcome back, America. That's right. This is the Cajun Contractor, Michael King, and this is the Invent America show right here on the King's Broadcasting Network. I want to welcome all of you that's tuning in and staying with us on the King's Broadcasting Network, Home Talk USA radio program that's joining us, staying with us. We want to really thank all our affiliates for staying for the whole 3 hours of the education and information that we do here on this show. And now I'd like to welcome my co-host, the partner in crime. You know her. Well, you know her as the Inventor Lady herself, Miss Rita Crompton. Invent America. Hey, Miss Rita, how was your Thanksgiving, my darling?
It was awesome because we were together with the entire family for my mother's 90th birthday, and it was so cold. And
wow.
That blizzard everybody was talking about, yes, I am, face to face with it, driving 25 hours to get home from the Black Hills. So, yes, it was wonderful, certainly memorable. How was yours?
Oh, it was great. As you know, people might not realize I've been getting a lot of response because people also know that I'm a 5-star chef. Everybody knows I have also own a big catering company in New Orleans. And not only am I the Cajun Contractor and I'm real good in construction, but I also am a great singer. As you know, I used to perform in Vegas back in the 70s. People don't know that about me. So I can sing, I can build. And most importantly, as you know, just go to their website, CajunMike.com. I can cook. So, hey, I am a blessed individual. So I could tell you, we posted some of the meals, and it was just a great time with the family. And I talked about that, Rita, on the first segment, the Home Talk, about family and how important it is to spend with your family and be with them. Because in this crazy world that we live in right now, family is, it's got to be your priority, regardless if you have the black sheep of the family, you have the good sheep of the family. At the end of the day, as they say, they still family. But with that being said, you know what I mean?
I know. There were 19 of us all there to celebrate Mom's 90th birthday. And, we've got 6 other birthdays in November. So we always, it's a big family gathering. Yeah. And, everybody takes something of their, favorites for Thanksgiving that they're in charge of making. And it was so funny. We were getting ready to leave. And one of my younger sisters says, "Oh, our other sibling won't be there." And I said, nope. They asked for a bigger bag of Chex Mix. And she goes, duh. Well, I need a bigger bottle of gin.
Yeah.
So, we had it all there. It was fun. And the kids, oh my goodness, I got to tell you the story. All right. So I've got a 4-year-old grandson. We've got a new addition to the family. She is a gorgeous 10-year-old. So I was trying to get him to try this new Thanksgiving meal. And I said, "You'll like it. You'll like it." Nope. You try it. You'll like it. Nope. I tell you what, this little girl came up and took a piece out of the bowl and he goes, "Yeah, I think I'll have some." He was so enamored with this 10-year-old, and he's 4. It's like, it was priceless.
As happy as we are right now, I'm definitely sad right now also because, we only got a couple weeks left in the year. And as you know, each time of year, we take off a couple weeks. We like to get regenerated, rejuvenated, and as we prepare for the new year coming up. And I did break the story 2 weeks ago that we did re-sign for 2026 and our 29th year next year. So they're going to have to put up with us, right? One more year. Everybody says, "King, you go from year to year." I just go to year right now, And it's kind of sad because I love talking to y'all. I love talking to our guests. I love talking to our, our entrepreneurs, our inventors. I love, we have Noah McNeely coming up shortly, and he's one of the benefactors and really helps the Invent America show. And he's always great what he does. And I know I'm pointing him out right now. I'm kind of embarrassing him a little bit, but his service that he provides can really mean, after I did some really soul searching, sometimes can mean whether or not this company is going to fail or succeed, not because of the product or the technology, just the business plan is all wrong. You know what I'm saying, Rita? So he plays a big part of this.
But you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you a secret. Okay.
What?
I have been telling my husband I want 20 more years for 23 years. And so I'm still telling him I want 20 years. So guess what, Buttercup? You get 20 more years with me, and then maybe I'll think about retiring. So
yeah, I tell you, I was going, I was off. As we started the 28th year, that was it. I kind of made the announcement this was going to be it for me. And then you came apart, and the Invent America came apart, and then you give Greg Owens, he came. Made America came apart. Now the family's still growing. So I'm like, okay, man, I can do this another 20 years, because, Home Talk.
And I've got shows lined up for 2026. So, we're good.
Well, the thing is about Home Talk, what makes it so special is that we used to talk about all the topics in bundles. We used to, handle Made in America. We used to do Invent America, Invent this, and, Home Talk and established company. But it was all over the place, hour 1, hour 3, hour 2. And so what he decided to do is to say, you know what, let's keep the established topics here, and let's get the new companies here and the new inventors and products here, and let's get the Made in America over here, and kind of focus at one where we can give more exposure to that particular topic. And we had some reservations about that. How's this going to work, Rita? How are we going to pull this off? That's never been done in radio history. Never been done. Never tried. Or then you're going to turn into an infomercial. Everybody's paying to be on the show. Well, in 29 years, I've never charged anybody to be on this show. And you know that, Rita. We never charge anybody for guests and topics.
I know. And I always tell people, it's like, there's a Monday in every week, so I've got to have people, I can go and say, okay, can you do Monday? And but when we do Invent America, because America invents, we invented a new business model because, we're part of that whole show of, let's fix it. Let's do it this way. Let's try this. And we're not afraid to try new things. And that's why our Invent America segment is so important. It's like everybody at some point in their life is like, I think I'll invent something. Well, now the ones that really become the inventors in our society are the ones that, they had the vision, and solved a problem. And they've got the courage. Really, it takes courage to step out there and say, let's see what we've got. And then, some business savvy, and, you fly by the seat of your pants to get from, I have an idea, mind to market.
I know we kind of got off track here, but I wanted to talk about the path to perfect. What do you mean by that?
It means that, when I hear an inventor say, oh, I'm not ready yet to file my patent because it's not perfect. Oh, I'm not ready to go to market yet because it's not perfect. Oh, I don't think I've got something yet because perfect? Have you really thought about what it takes to get to perfect? None of us get to perfect.
It don't exist. It don't exist.
And so the inventors that I notice, they will they'll go to a trade show with their baseline prototypes, and they'll start, getting that feedback, that market research from the people in the industry. And then, like Jeff, all right, he went to market. Okay, he got feedback from the people that were buying it. I had another gentleman that we posted his product, and oh my goodness, they gave wonderful feedback, and he changed his patent. So when we talk about the path to perfect, it's a long freaking path. And so you've got several turns in there where you're fine tuning your prototype, and it's the American consumer then that says, okay, what about this? Or, I'd like it better this way. You don't know what the American consumer is going to say till you get it out there in their hands.
Well, to be honest with you, till we showed up and you showed up on the scene, there was really no blueprint to this. There was nothing because everybody was all over the place. You had 5. We talked about the 5 steps from the time you think about it, and the patent, and the prototyping, and the distributor, the market. There's a path to this. But now we have a blueprint for this, and I think it's important right now that people understand that we can help you and guide you and advise you on the path of success, because we have the infrastructure of all the experts to help you. look, let's say when you make mistakes, Rita, it costs you money. So if you eliminate the mistakes, then you can go ahead and sponsor Home Talk USA and the Invent America show, right? Because you have the money, right?
Exactly.
I had to throw that in there. Well, we got to take a short break. Yeah.
Toss.
Well, yeah. Well, what do you think? Oh no, so I could get your money. But I tell you what, it costs us a lot to keep a program on the air, man. 29 years of this. Well, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back with our first guest, our first topic, right here on the Invent America show with the Inventor Lady herself and the Cajun Contractor, Michael King. Y'all stay with us now, and y'all come back now. You hear?
This segment of Invent America TV is brought to you by SearchQuest Patent Search. SearchQuest provides for a comprehensive patent search that searches the entire world and not just the U.S. Patent Office. Make sure that before you spend those big bucks having a patent written, you've done your due diligence by getting a comprehensive patent search. Use SearchQuestPatents.com for all your patent search needs. They scour the world for you.
And thank you so much for being with us for this episode of Invent America, because America invents. We love being able to solve those problems out there in every consumer industry that there is. So we like to present those products to you so you can go, get them, and especially the ones that would make good Christmas gifts. And we've had some of those on the air. My first guest today is Jeff Jackson. He's got a very cool new product. My first guest, like I said, is Jeff Jackson. Jeff, thanks so much for being with us today. I appreciate it.
Hey, it's great to be here, Rita. Thanks for having me here.
All right, you have got this, I would say woman's dream, but okay, I don't want to be sexist. Let's say homeowner's dream, because I know a lot of women have their guys doing this chore. But how to hang a picture straight, right?
Yeah, well, it's more than straight, but yeah, it takes
I know,
the question.
right? So tell everybody, what is True Up?
Well, True Up, it's a system that's really so simple. It allows a homeowner to take advantage of a couple of patents that we have on this. We have an adhesive patent and a mount patent, and you use our system to level that mount onto the wall with this specialized adhesive. Very strong, very good for holding things on the wall and taking it off when you need to. But since that mount is hung level, when you place your frame on it, it also is level. So when I started this, I thought about all the frustrating points I've had. I have 6 kids. We hang pictures and they change all the time. And behind every picture, there was 8 to 10 holes from where my wife wanted me to move it around all the time. Oh, a little to the left, a little to the right. So I thought, how can we fix that? And there's a few giants out there that have adhesive systems that do that, but they still didn't allow for some flexibility that I wanted, because no one that I know hangs one picture. It's always a collection of pictures, right? It's evenly spaced pictures. It's a collage they saw on the magazine on the way out of the grocery store. That's what they want. And it's hard. I mean, so I thought, how could we do that? So I'm a mechanical engineer, and my wife hates it sometimes, but I implement this if-how way of thinking. If I wanted to do that before I spent any money, if I wanted to do that, what would it look like? How would I do it? So went through a couple iterations, thinking and this and that, and finally came up and was able to patent both the mount and more recently the adhesive that is unique in itself. And it's really freeing. It solves the problem of a simple task of hanging pictures.
So, well, and that's so cool. So I want you to give everybody out there, you know what, gentlemen? You want to give your wife a really cool Christmas gift? Put a couple of these in her stocking. Oh, yeah, wait a minute. They come in a set. So you could actually have more than one in a package. I know that because I asked. And you know what? Then you get to go on, the day after Christmas and straighten all of her pictures. And she is going to love you dearly. So that website, Jeff, is?
You can go to trueuphanging.com. We'll get you to learn all about it. Yeah, that's where you go to learn about it.
All right. So our topic today is path to perfection. And you're the one that gave me the idea on this because you were telling me your story. So there you go. That's why you get to be on. And so those stages you went through and how you started getting feedback and made improvements. So share your story.
Yeah, well, believe it or not, didn't start out with hanging pictures. When I started, I was working with a company in Minneapolis, and they challenged me to come up with a way to disrupt the framing industry, framing pictures. So I dove deep into framing. I ended up getting offshore material, reclaimed woods, and I developed a whole system for making these frames. I could get a frame done every 60 seconds. But as I hung those frames on my wall, just traditionally, the normal way, I'm thinking, how can I get to a place where I'm going to disrupt the frame market? For heaven's sakes, it's a square or a rectangle. How can I disrupt it? And while I'm sitting there, one of the frames fell off right in front of my face, boom. And I'm like, well, that's not good. And I looked up at the holes in the wall. And so I went to go, how am I going to rehang it? And I looked on my desk and I saw a level that I had there. And I'm like, it'd be great if I could just hang a level. So I had a shop, as I just mentioned, went out to the shop and I made this little piece of wood out of bamboo, real thin piece, put it on the wall and leveled it. I put that same frame back on that ledge of the bamboo. And I'm like, well, heck, we should do that. And I held it up with a couple pieces of adhesive. Adhesive I didn't patent or anything, just adhesive I had laying around.
Well, Jeff, that's like God talking to you.
Yeah, well, it was,
You're staring at it and it falls off. It's like, hello.
he got my attention. So that's what kind of started my thinking. And I left the framing and went back to this company and I said, let's not focus on the frames. Let's focus on a, an area that's never been reinvented. And that's how to hang them. And it sounds dumb, but it's really not because everyone's had frustrations hanging frames. And everything out there has always been, how do I put that nail in a better spot? How do I make it more accurately in a better spot? Or you go with some of the adhesives that are out there, and there's some problems behind those adhesives with taking things off your wall and not holding.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we address those.
Yeah. Been there, done that, got
Yeah.
angry and had to get the paint out. So, all right. So what's next for you? What is your goal then on letting more people know you're there?
Well, right now, I mean, I've got the product, I've got tooling, I've got everything, but what I'm finding out about myself is I'm great, maybe not great. I'm good at trying to fix problems. My wife had issue with that. I'm okay with trying to fix problems, find solutions. But what I really need to do is to find people that are really good at getting products into the market, right? Since this is patented, my desire is, I don't want to take all the steps to learn about marketing in its entirety. And am I going to do this and that, spend money here and there? Just need to find a good partner or license the product to somebody already in that space and include this as part of what they offer and get it out there sooner rather than later.
Yes, and we are hoping that you will join us at ASD Market Week to show off, and we're going to send your information out there to a couple of different groups that do licensing. And I want to thank you so much for being with us today, and we will be talking to you more this week as we get all that stuff teed up and pulled together so that, oh my goodness, that we can get this product true up out there to everybody. So, True Up website, trueuphanging.com. I wanted to get all those vowels going in the right direction. So stick with us, everybody. We are going to be right back with Holly, and she's got another cool product that we are hoping to get to ASD Market Week, and I am sure that you're all going to want one of those too. So stick with us. We'll be right back.
If you're an inventor or you know an inventor out there who would just like to be able to have a conversation with other inventors, join the Inventors Roundtable. It's free. The meetings are virtual, so you can be anywhere in America and talk to another inventor. And for a lot of folks out there, understanding the process, being able to ask questions, getting good service provider information is critical to the inventing process. So, got questions? Want to join? It's free. inventorsroundtable.org.
Thank you so much for joining us for this segment of Invent America. And if you're an inventor out there or you know someone who is and they've got questions about the process, have them get in touch. We can answer questions. They can join us for one of the Inventor Roundtable meetings. There's no charge, and then they can ask the questions of all of our different service providers who are there and find out more information. Sometimes the best information they get is the inventor sitting next to them. This segment is brought to you by Wooden Wood. They are your trusted seamless gutter company. They specialize exclusively in gutters. So if you need new gutters or gutter cleanings, WeNeedGutters.com is the place to go. So my next guest is Holly Rembelski. Holly, if I made a mistake on that, fix it for me. And let our listeners know, what did you invent?
Hi, Rita. So I am a hairstylist and I specialize in extensions. We do lots. I have like your tape-ins, which I wear myself, or there's fusion for thinner hair. And we use a lot of pliers. So like your regular everyday pliers. We have flatheads for the tape, and then these ones help with breaking these out. Now, my problem came when I'm doing a head of, say, 200 of these little guys stuck in. Well, it's like a hot glue. So as they grow out, you have to use these serrated ones to break. And I mean, you got to see, it takes a minute, get it all loose, and then it slides out of the hair. So great, wonderful. I have several different types of pliers, but after a long time, the squeezing, the hand hurts and the elbow. So when you have to do 2 sets a day, you're in a lot of pain. And then it was causing to where I couldn't close down. So I came up with the electric plier, working with my engineer. So something like simple as this, instead of crimping, you push a button. So as you're pushing the button, it'll close and open. And then there's a stage where, or a switch where you can move it to, you push the button, it'll continually go until you turn it off. So it'll just alleviate a lot of pain and you'll be able to do more.
Well, and that sounds great. So my question then for you is, when you can see how you want it to work, but then coming up with a prototype to make it work, how have you gone through the different iterations of getting to where you need to be?
So it's been a lot of me, myself, my dad, friends, taking different tools apart, seeing how they work. And then you introduced me to Noah McNeely, who is absolutely fabulous. And he has kind of put all of my thoughts into one and is currently in the process of making it. It seems to be every week he's giving me updates and I just beam because I'm so excited because all my hairdresser friends, we would love to have something that doesn't hurt anymore to get them things out and to still, have all this hair that's not actually ours.
Exactly. So don't tell him I said this, but I've had other people think that he walks on water.
He kind of does.
Yeah. I don't want it to go to his head,
Right, sure.
So, as you're going through then basically the path to perfect, for a lot of inventors, they wait until, like you did. You went and you got somebody to help you. They'll,
yes.
tinker around in the garage. Well, it's not perfect yet. And you're a hairstylist. So thinking that you're going to be the engineer that creates the perfect prototype or the perfect product. And it was just like, Jeff said, he goes, I'm really good at this thing, but marketing is not where I am good. So you get an A+ in saying, okay, now I need some help. And, even Noah is one that says, okay, let's try this. Okay, let's make it better.
Yes.
Okay, we can do better. And then when you go to the show and you have people looking and trying it, because when you go to the show, you'll be able to walk around to the different booths that actually sell hairstyle products.
Awesome.
And you'll be able to say, try this. Tell me what you think. And it is not unusual that you come back and say, oh, Noah, let's try it this way.
Which is awesome. I'm so excited.
He's used to that. Yes, no kidding. So what is your goal then? What is, where do you want to go with this?
So being a single mom of 4 children, ranging from graduate this year down to first grade, I am a busy mom. And this was all to help me better make as much money as I can so I can provide more for the kids. And it's a lot, I work with a lot of cancer patients too. So getting them their hair and making women feel good, it's a blessing on top of everything. But so with the first time around going with somebody who kind of didn't do so well with the patent path, and I got charged a lot of money I don't have, finding a new attorney and then finding you, thank God. The path to perfect it's been a lot of ups and downs. So at this point, I would love to initially do a short run and just check it out, see what it is. But like you told me once, this is my 5th kid. I'd like to get it out of the house first. So licensing selling might be my end game.
The first one to graduate from college, basically. Yeah.
There you go.
It's funny because we say, you conceive it, you nurture it, it sucks you dry, you throw it out. And it's not until you throw it out, and it's not that unusual. Your kids graduate from college and you say, get a job.
Right.
Oh, no kidding. And so, yeah, that's, it's really wonderful to see people in their profession come up with a solution to solve a problem that everybody else in the profession knows they've got. And
Yes.
so
Yes.
my challenge to you then is, as you're going through all of these different stages of motherhood, where else could you use this technology? So if you're thinking about it, where else?
Yeah, so I have a lot of wrestling mom friends. So we have dentists and we have doctors and we have all of that. So I actually have my utility patent pending. I have 3 design patents approved. So that's for the different plier heads to attach to the one tool. So not only do you have this tool, but it sits on your desk, and you're sitting there with a client for 3 hours doing hair, talking about life and grandma, and they're like, what's that? How do I get that? What can I do? So it's like it's advertising on top of that. But so my dental friend was saying, instead of having a plier reaching way back in the tooth and, breaking it up, this would be nice if, obviously modified for them to slide in and push a button instead, to where it opens and closes, or push a button and it continually goes and you just move. So it's that, or, even mechanical, where you get in there and you can't get your hands down into a vehicle or something. It would be nice to just push that in and push a button and it opens and closes or hold. So there's lots of different avenues that this could really help out. And I know
that's wonderful. I know that's when somebody brings me a new pet product or a new, gadget for the car. The biggest crossover we see actually is car engineering and surgery.
Yeah.
And people don't realize it's like, you can't do that because it's a surgical tool and they use it in the operating room, but it's never been used for car mechanics before. It doesn't matter. A good patent is not industry specific. So we look at, when we go after licensing, then we look at a variety of different industries that could use it. One licensee makes it for all industries, and that way now you're not chasing a whole bunch of different agreements, because they don't really care. It's all about the numbers game to them. They just want to make it and sell it, and the more industries that we can sell it to, the happier you will be, because your royalty check will be bigger.
I'm excited.
Yeah, no kidding. So everybody out there, we are teeing up all these products to go to ASD Market Week in March, and the products that we have on the show between now and then, we'll be talking about some of them, you got to go to the website, because the website, Invent America website, because we list a lot of those products that would be especially wonderful as Christmas gifts, and it is not too late to go and get one of those Christmas gifts for the favorite person in your life. So we're going to be right back with our industry expert. We talked about him a little bit in the first few segments of this show. And so stick with us as we go out and appreciate all of our sponsors. And again, we will be right back. If you know any inventors out there that would be able to take advantage of all of the information that we have gathered over 20 years, please put them in touch with me, Rita at americasinventorlady.com. And my guest for this segment is Noah McNeely, that prototype guy and startup manufacturing guy that, walks on water, as I hear from so many of the inventors that he's helped. And he's helped several get teed up for ASD Market Week. So Noah, thanks for being with us today.
Well, it's my pleasure. I heard everything you guys said. So, I should probably just stop now. But,
Are your feet ready?
you're going to give me too big of a head. I'm going to go home. My wife's going to get angry with me. So I'm going to try to keep it under wraps.
All right, all right. Well, keep it under control. Try to, wear rubber boots. But anyway, when you're helping an inventor and they come to you, um, you're a lot of times you're starting with just their rough duct tape and cardboard prototype. But how do you go through the different steps on the path to perfection? And I don't know that path to perfection, is ever reached necessarily. And it's a curvy road to the top of that mountain. But what are some of the steps and the processes you take?
Well, well, the first thing I do, one of the first things I do is try to convince them there's no such thing as perfection when it comes to products. As you know, that it's really more of a path to launch. How do we get to a successful launch with a product that you can sell, or in many cases license and make a good business out of. If I've run into a lot of people that pursue perfection way too long and they never launch a product and they spend all their money doing the wrong things. But the steps are really kind of simple on the top level. The first thing we want to do is make sure we understand everything the product is supposed to do. And actually, this is something Holly and I went back and forth on a good bit because she's got a really cool product. And, it took me a while to understand everything that it needs to do. But we're headed toward a product there, which is great. But after we understand everything it's supposed to do, we have to put it into practice. And those are going to be very imperfect prototypes in many cases. They're going to be 3D printed. They're going to be cobbled together. Sometimes the client has already done that, and then they come to us and they want to take it the next step that's a little bit more refined. So the step after that, hey, does it work? Is okay, how do we make it work in a form that we can mass produce? And then how do we make it work in a form that is going to look nice and feel nice and have all those things that a product has that a person wants to use and actually wants to make part of their daily routine or part of their life. So it's almost like a funnel. We start up at the top with this really broad kind of nebulous idea in some cases. And then every step we're tightening it down. We never get to perfect because there is no perfect, but we get it closer and closer and closer to, again, a product we can launch successfully and have, hopefully the client can have a good business around.
You're right. You're exactly right. And, there's a gentleman, an inventor I've known for a long time in Colorado, and he came up with a new idea, and he has been working on. He had his search done to file a patent, but it's like, well, it's not perfect yet. It's like, and that was 8 months ago, and he's still tinkering. I said, at a point, you just want to tinker with it. That's fine. Don't file anything on it because you're tinkering still. And when you tell me it's not perfect, my sense is, you're probably not going to get there. And, the window for that product to be viable in the marketplace is now. It is right now with all the different things that are going on. And it's like, you're waiting for perfection is going to be the death of you. And I've had other inventors that, just the tinkering themselves as opposed to going to the problem solver like you.
Yeah, I often find that this is going to be general, but there are really two types of inventors. There's those that view inventing as a hobby. Those are the ones that never want to stop tinkering. Then there are the ones that view invention as a business venture. They're the ones that understand, okay, we've got to have a pencils down moment. We've got to get this to the market. We've got to start marketing it, start selling it, start making money on this thing. Then we can go back and tinker Gen 2 and Gen 3 and so forth. But those hobbyists, they just like tinkering. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that being a hobby, but don't go around pretending like it's a business because it's not.
Yeah. I had a gentleman in Colorado. I lived there for 20 years. That's why I've got, a lot of people I know in Colorado, and they're not all men. But this one, he was a high school teacher. And so he filed a trademark on his product, but he was never going to license it. He just made them downstairs because they were his de-stressor. And he loved making them and selling them, and you get them in bike shops and everything. And he goes, when somebody knocks it off, and eventually they will, I'll move on to my next tinker. And so I appreciate the fact that, he was just a tinker guy, and loved, coming to the meetings and showing off a little bit. So, it's fun to watch the inventors, and when they take that next step, getting into selling, and their eyes light up when they go to the show. And somebody says, did you think about doing this way? And it's like, didn't even think about that. And so, before they've spent a lot of money on the manufacturing, they're getting really market research from the professionals in the field.
And that's another reason there's no perfect product, because it's really more, is this product good for this group of people? And you may take that same, again, like Holly, you guys were talking about different fields. You may take that same product, change it entirely, and now it's a good product for a different group of people. So there's no perfect product, because you can't meet everybody's needs with one single thing.
Exactly. I'm glad you said that, because it was floating around in my head there a little bit. It's like, the American consumer is fickle, it's like, well, I wish it was a little longer. I wish it was a little shorter. It's like, just put it in the middle. And so, you can't do everything for everyone. And that is why when you go down the aisle at Home Depot, there are 20 different flashlights of different size grips and different lengths and different little extra things on them, because nothing is perfect and no one is perfect. And with that, we are going to wrap it up. And we will be back next week for another episode of Invent America.
Thanks everyone for joining us today. We will be back next week with more stories on getting products from mind to market. We will have new inventors and industry experts. So join us and have a wonderful week.